Hello and welcome back to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel. In today's episode we're going to continue looking at this Austin Rover cars all model catalogue for 1984. Today, Mini. Hello and welcome back to Quarterlight. If you're new to Quarterlight, we're a very small channel here on YouTube looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars, looking back at cars gone by, or even just car brochures, please consider subscribing. It is all completely free. Anyway, back to today's episode. Yes, it's part 2, looking at this brochure, 1984 or October, November, December 1984, so really the 1985 model year for Austin Rover cars. Last week we looked at Metro. It's a weirdly ordered catalogue, this one. You'd think Mini would come first, but the Metro did, with that huge range at the time. Next up is Mini, in contrast, kind of shrinking range, but let's have a look at that one now. Here is today's brochure, and yep, proudly showing the Metro. It did a bit of a facelift, nicer interior, and I think that's why it came first. It was kind of really trying to show off the Metro. We also kind of like looked at the brochure a year earlier, although tried to contrast how the Metro changed. We'll do a similar sort of thing with the Mini, although to be honest with you, I don't think it changed too much from 83 to 84, although at 83 we got this special edition Sprite with these nice wheels on it. Anyway, so last week Metro range was vast, and I must admit we kind of like overran on the video. I couldn't believe how long it was by the time I'd finished. I think it must be right up there with one of my longest, because the Metro range was huge. The Mini, by contrast, much smaller. Metro was really there to take over the Mini though. Like I said, the Mini soldiers on. There was certainly still an audience for the Mini at the time. I guess one thing we didn't point out was there was a special edition Metro in this 1983 brochure, wasn't it? So, but obviously that was the old shape, so that special edition was gone by this brochure a year later. I don't want to waffle too much, although we should have a bit more time on this brochure. Let's jump straight to Mini. So in Austin Rover news, nothing really about the Mini. We've added rear seatbelts as an option, although there would have been just a lap at the back for the Mini, I do believe, as an option. The other change, we could now get Moonraker was a new colour that they're adding on to more models, but there's nothing specific about the Mini. And then in motorsport, there is a little bit about in the 25th anniversary year for the Mini 7 Racing Club Silver Jubilee Mini Challenge races sponsored by Austin Rover, reminders of the continuing relevance of the Mini in low-cost circuit racing and the fact that these races are as much fun as ever to watch. And then we got this rather nice image of these Minis racing. And that's all there really is in these front pages specific for the Mini. As we go through the range, we'll pick out specific things relevant to the cars as we look at them. So let's go straight to how the range starts for the Mini, and it's a simple one. Here is Mini. It says Austin Mini, there's still no serious rival, and I guess a bit of a nod to itself and its inability to replace it. Let's just zoom in on this main image, and in this case it's showing the top of the range Mini Mayfair, and you also, by looking at the people at the back there, you can get a bit of a reminder of how small the Mini was, and also a reminder that, you know, people were quite happy to drive around in cars of this size. Now look how ridiculously large the cars are today that everyone insists on having for whatever reason. Anyway, let's move on to the next page. Let's see what the range was, and maybe we might look at another brochure to see what the range used to be. So only 2 models in the range at the end of 84 for the 85 model year. The City E, which is up now, the base model, and that Mayfair that we just had a glimpse at before. Similar sort of story to the previous year, actually, just a City E and a Mayfair, although then you could also get that special edition Sprite. Contrast though to the last brochure we looked at in 1977. I'm sure those who enjoyed the series will remember this brochure. It's not too long ago that we looked at it, but like I say, in 77 the Mini range was truly vast and much more interesting as well. We had the Mini 850s and Mini 1000s, and then we had the Clubmans there as well, so both the saloon and the estate, wherever the estate is there in the background there, the estate, and of course what was always my favourite, the 1275 GT. Anyway, a huge slim down and range now. Although in reality, although it looks like this is the end of Mini and the slimming down the range, it did get much more interesting later on, didn't it, when the Cooper arrived. Anyway, let's read the text, where it's telling us 25 years young, the Austin Mini, and then we'll move on to the Mayfair to see what that adds to the range. Oh, and incidentally, we do also have a price list, so we'll be able to compare how the Mini prices were compared to the Metros we looked at last week. Anyway, low cost, big heart. That's the new City E, proven by the experience of building nearly 5 million Minis. The City E has all the well-loved Mini virtues, amazing interior room in the shortest, easiest to park, full 4-seater you can buy, the legendary agility and fun to drive characteristics, and the uniquely timeless appeal of classic design. Underneath the famous shape, however, recent developments have kept the concept well ahead of its rivals. On the all-important fuel economy front, the E denotes a high-efficiency A+ unit that achieves 60.5 mpg at 56 mph, and that's not an academic figure, as demonstrated by the Mini E that achieved the best overall fuel consumption in last year's grueling Red X economy run with 63.94 mpg. High gearing also aids economy, and combined with the Mini's standard fit acoustic control pack makes for quieter cruising. Yet today's Mini is also livelier than ever, with 40 bhp, giving punchy acceleration helped by a slick shifting remote control gear change. Despite the City E's budget conscious price, it comes fully equipped with new sawtooth design fabric seat inserts, a heated rear window, reversing lamps, 2-speed windscreen wipers and electric washers, a fresh air heater, demister unit and twin sun visors, with a passenger vanity mirror. There's a fitted carpet on the floor and handy storage space on the full width front parcel shelf and in the 2 rear companion boxes. The latest technical developments on the City E are new 12-inch diameter wheel with low profile tyres for even more tenacious road holding. Together with front disc brakes, wheel arch spats complement the sporty looking wheels. Safety features include dual circuit braking, a rear fog guard lamp and hazard warning flashes, inertia reel front seat belts and rear seat belts. Anchorages are standard. Okay, I thought I was about to say we got rear seat belts fitted, then I was going to be shocked, but no, the anchorages are there, as are the front seat anti-tilt locks. The free Super Shield 6-year corrosion warranty reflects the high standards of paint technology used to protect the latest Minis. And then we get optional extras. Uniquely in its class, the Mini City E is available with the option of a superb 4-speed auto transmission, providing a choice of fully automatic drive or instantly responsive manual changes. An automatic City E is the ultimate budget town car, a boon for disabled drivers and fans of clutchless transmissions alike. The City E is now available with black or clear coat metallic paint options, and an additional optional extra is rear lap seat belts. So there is a look at the City E. Little City badge on that front door. Looks like we don't get a passenger door mirror though, and then a little E on the actual boot area there. Bumpers of course all black by this stage, and quite an attractive looking metallic green shown here. Quite nice having this two-tone seat, very similar to the base model Metros. They also had that sawtooth cloth. A look down and a bit of a reminder that the City E had that sort of central or centre speedo with that useful parcel shelf area, but certainly very basic. And a little image of someone throwing all the kids in the back there. And then this is your main City E picture. This is a little bit of an image of what it looked like a year earlier, so more or less the same vehicle, to be honest with you. They haven't changed it too much. Seat fabric slightly similar, although it looks exactly the same. This is houndstooth. And then the small wheels a year earlier though, with these sort of like centre chrome caps, kind of like the wheels you would more associate with a base Mini, to be honest with you. Instead we're getting this sort of like a nicer wheel. It looks very similar, probably the same as Mini HL. This is seen in a 1980 brochure. The HL was kind of like equivalent to the Mayfair, but they dropped it and had a Mayfair instead for whatever reason. Anyway, it kind of like reminds me of this wheel, but it isn't exactly the same, of course. This is a slightly different design, similar sort of theme, similar sort of idea, but of course they went for a larger wheel here now, haven't they? So a more low profile tyre, although I think I prefer the smaller wheel with the chunkier tyre. But anyway, here is the Mayfair. So if you wanted a Mini that was just a little bit plusher, and why not? Certainly the seats look an awful lot nicer, and we've got regular gauges. Although, incidentally, you know, when they brought out the big Mini that wasn't really a Mini, they went back to the centre gauge because it looked retro, I guess. But anyway, let's have a look at the text and then we'll come back to these images. So it tells us the Mini that introduced a new level of luxury to economy motoring. The Mayfair is a little jewel of a car. Still a totally practical and economical Mini, but with a special chic all of its own. Stylish coach lines and Mayfair motifs provide tasteful exterior identification. Inside the Mayfair is lavishly trimmed with new chalk stripe velvet fabric on seats. Door trims and side casings. Front seats recline and have adjustable head restraints. Equipment levels complement the attractive upholstery with a push button LW MW radio, 4-spoke steering wheel, twin door mirrors, twin door bins, tinted glass, face level air vents, opening rear quarter windows and cut pile carpet. Instrumentation is neatly displayed in the binnacle in front of the driver and includes a temperature gauge. Other Mayfair refinements include a moulded handbrake grip and a locking fuel filler cap. Because the Mayfair has the same technical specifications as the E model, including the new 12-inch wheels and front disc brakes. I think they're actually an identical wheel actually on these. It offers the same remarkable combination of economy and nimble performance. The same ability to slot itself into a tiny parking and garage spaces with its 28.5 foot turning circle. Options, so again we can have that auto transmission, rear lap seat belts and black or clear coat metallic. So nothing too fancy, just the same options as we got previously. The image to one side is the Mayfair, and yes indeed the same style steel wheels. I think in the interior is where all the improvements are, so a more regular binnacle and a nice steering wheel, and then of course I think that's really the reason why you'll buy the Mayfair, just for those rather nice, lavishly trimmed velvet fabric seats and the headrests. Very nice. And of course, like I said, we'll have a look in a moment to see how much extra you had to pay for those rather nice seats. But there is the Mini Mayfair. Looking at the Mayfair 1 year earlier, again, it's a similar sort of idea with these nice seats, but again if we look at the wheels then were most definitely those same wheels that we got on the Mini HL, so they've obviously just updated the wheels for that 1985 model year. We did have a look at the colour chart when we looked at the Metro, but anyway we didn't see that. Lovely colour chart for British Leyland at the time, and rather nicely you could have all these colours on your Mini and even on the City E or Mayfair, so really nice. So the colours at the time were Aram White, Champagne Beige, Premier Yellow. Again, I always quite like that yellow, maybe for like the City E. I always like base models in that yellow for whatever reason. You can also have Targa Red, Clove Brown, Eclipse Blue, Silver Leaf Metallic, Cashmere Gold Metallic, a Porto Red Metallic, Opaline Green Metallic, Zircon Blue Metallic, and now Moonraker Blue Metallic has been added to the range. That Zircon Blue Metallic, incidentally, my dad bought a brand new X-registered Mini HL, and it was in that Zircon Blue Metallic, and it actually looked quite nice. Although I later looked in the, when you look back at cars and see if they're still around, seems to have been scrapped now, but somebody at some point painted it red for whatever reason. So that takes us to prices and a very simple range for Mini, like we keep saying, and I think some people might have thought this might have been the end for the Mini, as there were so few models, but of course it kept going and added the Cooper much later on. Anyway, two models are the City E and Mayfair. The City E, £3,297.90. Certainly the cheapest car in the Austin Rover range for this October, November. I think the actual date of the price list itself is actually October. I can certainly imagine why people still flocked to buy the Mini at that price. It was a good price for what was quite a fun little car to drive. For the Mayfair, you had to step up a little bit though to £3,883.26. I don't know if it was really worth being that much more expensive just for those nicer seats, really. Particularly when you note the Metro 1 litre City was £3,845.36, which really, as a practical car around town, actually made more sense than buying that Mayfair. Optional extras though, and you would still buy the Mayfair if you really wanted a Mini, and then I think buying the alloy wheels was probably a good thing, but £220 and 3 took it over £4,000, so getting to be a pricey Mini. Auto's transmission was £652, and then paint finishes, black was an extra £46, clear coat metallic was an extra £79.99. So there we go, the Minis, and I'm sure everyone's got a story about a Mini, so share that in the comments, always very interesting to read. But thank you so much for watching today, and hope you've enjoyed today's episode. As the range grows, like I said, the Mini and the Metro was just strange, weren't it, how they were ordered in this particular brochure, and was it worth paying that bit more for the Mayfair? I always think just getting the base model Mini made the more sense, even though the Mayfair had those much nicer seats with head restraints. But anyway, what we'll say, like we say on every episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It is all completely free. But thank you so much for watching today. Hope you come back again. Of course, the series continues this time next week, although many more episodes of different makes and models of car during the week. So thank you so much for watching. Take care and goodbye.